For centuries, the global economy relied on the cottage industry. Almost everything humans consumed was manufactured slowly, entirely by hand, in decentralized rural homes. If you wanted mechanical assistance, water power was your only option. This meant early mills and rudimentary factories were strictly tethered to fast-moving rivers. Once you stepped away from the riverbank, moving goods over land or operating heavy tools meant relying on the oldest engines on Earth, human backs and animal muscle. Because of this, global economic progress was trapped. No matter how many workers you employed, production hit a hard ceiling, dictated entirely by the physical limits of nature and geography. Early steam engines, like the Newcomen, did exist to challenge this limit, but they burned immense amounts of coal to generate incredibly little power, restricting them to a single, highly specific job, pumping water out of flooded coal mines. In the late 18th century, a Scottish engineer named James Watt took that primitive pump and re-engineered it. He added a separate condenser and a rotary motion system to make the engine vastly more efficient and highly adaptable. The drop in fuel consumption made steam power incredibly cheap. Instead of just draining water from a shaft, a single Watt engine could suddenly drive the heavy machinery of an entire manufacturing facility. Industry severed its absolute reliance on natural water sources. By untethering factories from river valleys, Watt's refinement triggered a relentless technological chain reaction. Businesses immediately moved inland. They consolidated scattered operations into massive, centralized workspaces, built precisely where the labor and the coal were located. This birthed the factory system. Instead of an artisan crafting a whole product by hand, now production was broken down into a strict division of labor where workers operated heavy, continuously running machinery. The contrast was starkest in textile manufacturing. The solitary cottage spinning wheel was rapidly replaced by cavernous indoor cotton mills, where a single operator could oversee dozens of automated spindles at once. This volume of mass production drove down the cost of consumer goods exponentially. But solving the power problem created an entirely new crisis. Factories were suddenly overproducing cheap goods, much faster than the world could physically transport them. Attempting to haul mountains of iron, coal, and heavy textiles over primitive, rutted dirt roads was financially crippling. The first stopgap solution in the late 1700s was the rapid construction of artificial canals. Networks like the Bridgewater Canal allowed horses to easily pull immense barges of bulk cargo over smooth water. But canals are painfully slow. They freeze solid in winter, and engineers had to fight the elevation of hills and valleys every foot of the way. The ultimate adaptation came from taking the stationary industrial steam engine, mounting it onto wheels, and setting it on iron rails. The steam locomotive spread rapidly throughout the 19th century, vastly increasing human mobility and multiplying the speed of heavy cargo transit. Railways physically linked scattered, isolated industrial pockets into unified, high-speed national markets, completing the chain reaction of production and distribution. Driven by steam, Britain established itself as the world's first fully industrialized nation, experiencing a massive surge in economic growth and global trade dominance. Yet beneath that wealth was a massive urban working class trapped in harsh conditions, enduring long hours for chronically low wages. Factory owners actively exploited the most vulnerable demographics to cut costs. Women and remarkably young children were routinely employed to operate complex, dangerous machinery. Maintaining this momentum also required deep environmental devastation. The endless burning of coal choked the air with severe pollution and blackened entire landscapes. The new industrial cities swelled rapidly to absorb rural labor, becoming intensely overcrowded, permanently dirty, and structurally unhealthy for the people inside them. The unprecedented national wealth of the era was heavily subsidized by the severe exploitation of human health and the natural environment. This new prosperity was aggressively uneven. Look closely at Ireland's experience during the exact same era. This map shows industrial nodes rapidly filling the British landscape. By stark contrast, the majority of Ireland was bypassed by the factory boom, remaining agricultural. The singular regional exception was Ulster, where a thriving linen industry mirrored Britain's factory system. The result was a massive, widening economic gap between the heavily industrialized core of Britain and the largely agricultural periphery of Ireland. The refinement of steam power permanently restructured society. It baked profound social, environmental, and geographic inequalities straight into the foundations of the modern world.